Yeah. Had no chill with a man tripping on a telly. I'm zoned out looking like Stevie Wonder in the mountains on the celly. Had some homies I was running with till their legs turned into jelly. I just took off and there's no cap. I keep it real, better know that. I saw some big old demons. They brought some big old problems, but I got some big old angels. Got them all looking like Tyler's. Yeah, I got the whole team. Yeah. I got the whole team. I got the whole team.
Why would you do that?
Top 5 reasons that Trey Lance is in Dallas. Of course, in no particular order, but number 5, front office flex. What do I mean by front office flex? Am I talking about the Dallas Cowboys front office? Yes. Am I talking about the San Francisco front office? Yes. For anybody that follows sports, they know that the Trey Lance pick was not, I repeat, was not a Shanahan pick. Shanahan never wanted Trey Lance. You know who wanted Trey Lance? The front office. You know who makes the rules? The front office. You know who has the final say? The front office. I'm not going to sit up here and say that Shanahan never gave Trey Lance an opportunity, but again, if we know anything about football, we know that Shanahan has a system, and Shanahan expects his quarterbacks to play into the system. He ain't changing that system for nobody. Now, my opinion, systems are good, systems work, systems have value, but I feel like the best, the elite, the top of the top understand that sometimes you have to change your system to fit the player in order to get the ultimate play out of them. Yeah, by no means am I saying that Shanahan ain't at the top of his game. I would not get on this camera and pretend 2 things. 1, that Shanahan isn't all that he is, and 2, that I know more than Shanahan. Question that I would like to pose: how much better would his teams have been if he was willing to make that small adjustment? I know a lot of people look at Trey Lance and say, hey, he was given an opportunity. But is that fair? Think about where he was drafted. Think about how many games he was played. Think about the fact that he had some injuries. And think about how fast a highly touted first-round draft was moved on to another team. And then compare them to other first-rounders and how much time they had to get it right or wrong. Now, if we consider the fact that the head coach never wanted him, Trey Lance was never received by the entire team like he should have been. And then when you go on top of that, when you go and look at his stats for this year compared to the other QBs, you will see that his stats were either comparable or they were better. He deserved, if not first string, at the very least second string. I think it just simply became a toxic situation where the San Francisco 49ers was honest with themselves and honorable enough to say, I'm not going to let this young talent waste. I'm going to allow him to go to another team where he'll get a proper opportunity. At the end of the day, the front office made the decision and Trey Lance was here. They made a decision again and now he's gone. On the other hand, look at the Dallas Cowboys. Everybody know, especially us, how Jerry Jones rock. Jerry Jones does what Jerry Jones wants to. It's not a coincidence that his team, our team, you dig, is worth over $9 billion. Jerry Jones, hands down, point blank period, no argument necessary, nothing that anybody can say to dispute, is one of the top businessmen in the world. He knows how to make money and make money. He knows how to advertise and he knows how to bring exposure to the team and players, even though it's not always good. But like they say, no publicity is bad publicity. This isn't the first, the second, or the third time that Jerry Jones, since way back in the game, will go grab a player and wouldn't tell nobody, wouldn't ask nobody, and probably didn't consider nobody's feelings. Because when Jerry Jones wants to make a decision, that's just what the heck Jerry Jones does. He makes a decision. So I know a lot of people look at this and say, man, this is a slight at Dak. This is because how he feel about Dak. This is because he doesn't believe in Dak. I don't think that's true. Now, if I'm going to be honest, I guess it's better for me to say I don't think that's completely true. But I think the decision to go and get Dak was more about Jerry doing what he wanted to do and less about Jerry doing something to Dak. We know that Jerry Jones is the owner. He's the general manager. He's the president. He acts like he's the head coach, the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator. He's all of that, right? So Jerry Jones does what Jerry Jones wants to do. Jerry Jones made the decision that we needed to go and get another backup quarterback. And I think that was a very wise decision. Now, I don't appreciate and I don't respect how he did it, that if it works out the way it possibly and potentially can, all fans and everybody connected is going to say two things. One, we don't care that he made the decision. Two, we forgive him. Well, I should have said three, right? And three, man, this was a genius decision. Jerry didn't tell Dak. And people feel some type of way about that. And this kind of explains the mindset of Jerry behind that. But he also said that he didn't tell McCarthy. I want to pose this. I'm not saying that he's lying, but I'm saying he may be lying. I think this was smart to say that whether he's lying or not. And this is why. If you ask me, did McCarthy know? Yes, it's a high possibility that McCarthy knew. Now, Jerry being Jerry, there's a chance that he straight up did not tell McCarthy. But if he did tell McCarthy, why would he come out and say that he didn't? It makes total sense that he would lie. Once the decision was made, there was going to be frustration, aggravation, human feelings that's just going to come out naturally. It was unpreventable. The media, the locker room, new media, salute. Everybody was going to have something to say about the situation. The Facebook, Twitter, whole nine, everybody's going to be throwing their opinions in, right? So one could expect Dak to have several different thoughts. The season's getting ready to start. We are in a position now, probably the best position we have had in a long time to go to a Super Bowl. This was going to rock the boat, unavoidable, but didn't want to rock the boat more than necessary. It's something that Jerry could do that could kind of help soothe the situation or at least not make it as bad. How about if after hearing the news, Dak was somewhere cussing out Jerry? Wouldn't it be better than him cussing out Jerry and McCarthy? It's bad enough that Jerry makes the decisions that make you say, Jerry does things that just get under your skin. But I think for the most part, when it comes down to Jerry Jones, kind of expect him to do certain things and not really surprised by too much that he does. But at the end of the day, he has and he has to have a special relationship with his coach. This is the first year that him and McCarthy has worked this closely. They are going into a new space. They're going in a different direction. Relationship, rapport, trust, all of that is the most important that has ever been since McCarthy has been there. And shout out to McCarthy. You don't get enough respect. 2 back-to-back 12-5 seasons. You came in during COVID. There's so much that I can say about that. I'll say it another day. With much respect for what you've done. Number 4, change is go come. Forget change is go come. Change is here. Change is definitely here. Now, because America's team is always in the limelight, because America's team is always in the media, because America's team is always on the 3-letter and 4-letter networks, because America's team is always in everybody's mouth, whether you haters or lovers. Because of our 5 Super Bowls, because every year they think we're going to the Super Bowl. And I didn't say we think that. I said they, right? Every year they think we're going to the Super Bowl, or we're in the Super Bowl conversation, or we're in the playoff conversation when we have good teams and we have bad teams. It really doesn't seem to matter. 2 things about us is the Dallas Cowboys is going to be in the limelight, and the Dallas Cowboys is going to be profitable regardless of what our record is. We've earned it, we deserve it, and we stand on it. As good as decisions that Jerry has made, Jerry's made some horrible decisions, right? Jerry has been part of the reason many times that kept us from reaching our highest peak. And Jerry has been part of the reason. I love you, Jerry, but Jerry has been part of the reason where in times that we should have won championships or at least made it to the Super Bowl has hindered by his decision making. Jerry has a tendency or had a tendency to hold on to players and coaches way too long. Jerry, who had once been known as the type of person to go out and get anybody at any time in order to win, kind of turned out as of lately had become an owner who would go out and get somebody maybe some of the time depending on the situation. But over the last 3 years, man, we've seen some major changes. And this is vital to who the Cowboys really are versus who they have been perceived to be. One, we finally got rid of Gr8. Now, anybody who knows that Gr8 was a subpar coach. There's a lot of things that Gr8 did well, but Gr8 is not and has not been an elite coach. We've never had all three at once. Elite management, elite coaching, and elite players. This is the first time that we've had all three. We have elite coaching right now. We have elite players, and the management, who always had the ability to be elite and has been elite, is back to showing that elite status. With getting rid of Gr8, we finally have a Super Bowl and experienced coach. With getting rid of Kellen Moore, we finally have a experienced coordinator who's not trying to earn a spot, who's not trying to prove something to the world, who's not trying to learn on the job, but actually point blank knows what to do, knows situational football, has been there, done that, has years and years of experience, and proven that he is a top tier coach and can put a top tier team around. We already have one of the best draft developing teams, the best drafting, best alpha talent, Will McClay. If you notice during the interviews, now that you have McCarthy, you don't get all the information. So what are y'all going to do this year? Well, we're going to run this. We're going to run this play. This person's going to do this. By the time we get to the game, man, they got our whole playbook. They don't even need to prepare. They know what we're going to do before we do it. But all of that has changed. He's allowing, not completely because Jerry's still Jerry, but he's allowing Coach McCarthy to be a head coach. He's allowing him to make decisions. He has qualified and experienced people in every position. He's kind of backed up a little bit. And this is progress. He has went from all the time being loose-lipped Lily to just some of the time being loose-lipped Lily. We have, for the first time in a long time, went back-to-back 12-5 seasons and finally got over that hump of winning a playoff and going to the divisional round. We also did something we hadn't did in years. First round draft defensive tackle.
With the 26th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Mazi Smith, defensive tackle, Michigan.
Let's go, man! Cowboys don't do that. We've changed a lot in the last 3 years, and we're on a positive upward trajectory, and it shows. It's something that's proven that we can prove. It's something that we definitely have receipts on. When somebody asks, what's different about the Cowboys now? It's always this, it's always that. I hear it all the time. What makes the Cowboys different now? Those are some of the things that you can tell them. Change is not coming. Change is here. All right, number 3. And as I'm thinking about number 3, I've already gave y'all some of the information accidentally because it just kind of flowed together. But number 3 is the McCarthy effect. Think about everything that I already said about McCarthy and added to this last detail. Something that we should have been doing and doing a lot faster. We finally got back to doing that. And that's signing contracts quickly. Enough with all that nonsense that we have done in the past, playing with people money, this, that, and the other. We still heard and saw some things that I didn't feel totally comfortable with, but nevertheless, contract signed DB, contract signed wide receiver, contract signed right tackle. I'm super excited to know that even though we still hearing some of the nonsense, the action is happening and they are signing the players that we need to sign and getting the players that we need to get. And I think that and all the stuff that I said earlier about McCarthy is part of the McCarthy effect. All right, what's the number 2, not in order, but what is the number 2 reason that Trey Lance is no longer with the 49ers and now he with them boys? This is called replacement theory. The question is asked, is Trey Lance a replacement for Dak Prescott? The answer is yes. Is Trey Lance a replacement for Dak Prescott? The answer is no. What? Is it yes or is it no? Well, it's yes and it's no and it's yes. It's both of them. And it's a good thing that it's both of them. And let me tell you why. I know when you listen to certain content creators that's against the blue and silver, they will look at that and look at it as a slight towards Dak. I don't see it that way. Every quarterback has a replacement coming. No quarterback is going to be here forever. So it doesn't matter if it's Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. They looking to replace him. Aaron Rodgers of the Jets. They're looking to replace him. Pat Mahomes about the only one that nobody may be trying to replace. But please believe, every other quarterback in the league, management is looking to replace your behind. They looking for somebody to take your place or to be prepared to take your place if need be. Yes, he is or could be Dak's replacement in the future, but no, he's not his replacement now. He's not ready. He does not compare to it. Dak is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, point blank, period. I said it, I mean it, a fight come with it. Anybody that has a problem with that, let me know. Let go. And the number 1 reason, not in this order, but the number 1 reason that Trey Lance is now a Dallas Cowboy is proactive pill. Look, you can be mad at Jerry, you can be mad at whoever, all you want. I'm a team first, player second. Now, don't get it twisted. You can't have a team without players. And I absolutely love the players and appreciate the sacrifice that they give us day in and day out, practice, preseason, training camp, whatever the case may be. And this is present, past, and future. So I'm a team first content creator. Dallas Cowboys over everything and everybody else. Might not like the way Jerry did it, but let's look at it purely or specifically from a potential situation. First and foremost, we have dealt with Dak and some injuries. I'm not talking about Dak and interceptions. I'm not talking about Dak. I'm not talking about Dak and anything to do with his gameplay. Dak is good. Dak is Gucci. Anything that anybody else has to say is just ludicrous. But I am talking about the reality that Dak is 30, right? Age will come into play. Dak has dealt with some injuries. So that has to be considered, and I know Trey Lance has been hurt before. Okay, I get that. Like, there's teams that draft a QB every year. Drafting a QB does not automatically mean it's your lack of faith. To me, drafting a QB showing that you are proactive and it's showing your preparedness, your readiness. And I think specifically in ours, it's even more than that. When will we have the opportunity to get a 3rd overall first round draft pick QB for a 4th round draft pick? Even if we went out on our own during the draft, first round, 3rd overall, pick the QB, we're taking a chance. We don't really know what they're going to be. We're just hoping, right? But we just used the first. Now, you look at our scenario, we got that 3rd overall first round draft pick for a 4th. The first we can use for something else. And this is somebody who can potentially be the future of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't see why it's even a question. We need to prepare. And if we're going to prepare and if we're going to draft, how about go get somebody that not only your team has evaluated and think that is good. I know content creators that I listen to evaluate it and they think that he's good, and you have the opportunity to get this player. You don't need him right now. He's not necessary right now. He can really sit behind. Look, the 2nd string QB is somebody who learned to play in the system and is a team player. He'll be able to help him. Then the number one QB is one of the best motivators, one of the most statistically consistent, one of the best team players, one of the best captains, one of the best QBs in the league, and his nature is the type to want to groom players. If any QB in the NFL is going to be a big brother type that can help a young QB get to the next level and even have an opportunity to be a first-string QB, it's that. And then he sits under McCarthy, who's a heck of a QB coach. And then he has a host of opportunities around him. We got some of the best people in the game that can help you get to the next level. We see it every day with the way that our players get developed. He's going to have that opportunity. He doesn't have to rush to it. He doesn't have the pressure. He gets another opportunity and a fresh start on a team that's Super Bowl bound. If anything happens to our lead quarterback, he ain't even coming in. We got Cooper Rush. And check this out. If Cooper Rush does go out, he will have been there long enough and on a team that's prepared to plug him in and play around his skill set. We have the defense that can compensate for his shortcomings. I know you think with San Francisco, they have an amazing defense. What's the issue with that? Man, I'm going to just tell you like this. San Fran ain't Dallas, baby. It's things that we can do that they can't. If you really understood, if you were honest and unbiased, you would look at Dallas and say they had no wide receivers. They had a very, very, very suspect defensive line, and they needed defensive tackles bad. The running game was held back because Zeke was there. Now, Zeke didn't hold it back, but the way they chose to play while Zeke was there held them back. They had an offensive coordinator who didn't seem to have a scheme, didn't seem to understand situational football, and looked to be more focused on advertising and auditioning for a prospective team than getting us to a Super Bowl. We had a one-sided DB fiasco. Opposite Trayvon Diggs, it was a funky mess. Depending on what part of the year, our left guard, left tackle, he just got there. He was learning on the job. Tyron Smith, he gets hurt every year. I'm believing he's not going to get hurt this year. I don't know how, but somehow he plays all year long. Who, to me, had come out and become the third best right tackle in the league, a top 5 right tackle in the league, is hurt. Our center, who in Cowboy land, we wasn't giving him a whole lot of respect, took his respect last year, and he got hurt. And I can keep going on and on, but the point is to say this not trying to make excuses. These are facts, right? Facts count for every other team in the league. Quarterback play, coach, and all that stuff. Then it got to count for the Dallas Cowboys. If they look at all that, look at the holes, look at the injuries, all of that is changed this year. We were able to go 12-5 with all of those issues, and all of those issues are fixed. This year, you will see a team that will not be at their best because we still have holes and we still have issues to fix. I'll talk about that on another show. But we are a few moves for being an unstoppable team if we're healthy. A few moves. But presently speaking, with the team that is built right now, we are going to be easily noticed and clearly much better than we were last year. Oh, y'all got heck on y'all hands. The trouble is here. Signing off, it's your boy who is grateful with your poor card. That might change, man. I'm still trying to figure this thing out. Media, Dallas Cowboys TV. Until next time, let go.
Said those alphabet networks always speak to sheeps, and see, it's our job to wake them up, bro. We gotta wake them out of sheepville. So that's why you gotta share the content, bro. I had no idea it was content like this to where somebody is a Dallas Cowboy fan, but he keeps it real, and he's one of us. That's YouTube. That's new media. Way you get them out of that matrix. This content.